Hey, ¿qué pasa, amigos? I hope life is good. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's raining, and it's been raining for a really long time. And I think we're in, feels like day 72,064 of quarantine. And I was itching to get out and do a little bit of work in the shop. So I came out here today, and I wanted to accomplish a few things. I have everything I need to get my belt grinder set up for my knife making area of the workshop. And so I'm going to put all that together hopefully today and get it up and running. I actually came in yesterday. Last weekend was kind of my birthday weekend, and I just wanted to come over and build something without a camera. And so I put together a small workbench, and I'll actually take you through it and show you what I did, how I actually built it. And if you have any questions about it, you can put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure and answer them. But it's a really basic, simple workbench, and I'm gonna use this for basically all of my knife making tools. So I'll have a belt grinder on here, I'll have a couple of vices on here, and maybe if I have room, I'll put the drill press over here as well. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out yet, but we'll just see. This is about I would say a 9-foot table or so. And so it actually does have quite a bit of room. And so I think I'll be able to get everything on it that I need to. But like I said, I'll show you how I put all that together, and maybe you can build one on your own. It's really easy to do, and they're really handy to have in your workshop or your garage. So I don't know if you can tell or not. You might be able to tell, but it's really dark on this side of my face over here, and it's pretty light over here. And the reason for that is because the lighting in this shop, when we bought the place, it was all halogen bulbs. And I don't know about you, but it just, whenever I'm under a halogen bulb, it feels like it's just sucking the life out of me. So I got some LED lights instead, and I'm gonna put those up. I already have a set of LED lights over by where we've been working on the chicken coop, and so I'm going to put some over here in my forging area, my blacksmithing area, and get this area lit up a little bit. So I'm going to do that first. I'll show you guys how I did the table, and then we'll work on unboxing my new grinder. So if you'd like to join me, come along. I'd love to have you. My name is Matt Walker, and this is Sonnie's Place. I got these at Menards, and they're LED smart. They call them smart LED lights. Oh, Smart Electrician. That's the brand name. But these are branded as shop lights. So let's see what they do in my shop. Good thing I'm a ninja. Well, that was actually pretty easy. So I'm really happy with the light that puts off. I really like the light that LEDs put off anyway. Oops. Seems like it's just brighter and a lot cleaner. And so this is gonna actually work great here in the shop. Now I'm gonna show you a little bit about, or I'm gonna show you what I did on my workbench here. It's a really simple setup, so let's take a look. Drop my pen. So here's the workbench that I put together. It's really basic. It's nothing more than 3 rectangles with some framing around it, and then just some flat boards on top. And so I'll show you really quickly how I made the legs, and then it'll be a pretty good demonstration of how you might be able to make one on your own if you wanted to. These legs are basically just rectangles inside of a frame with with boards running across the top to make the tabletop. I'll just go ahead and throw a quick model together for you so you can kind of see how it goes. You'll need a few things. You definitely need some screws. I'm using 3-inch screws, I believe. Yeah, 3-inch screws, and which is perfect for 2x4s laying flat. It doesn't go all the way through, but it does get plenty of meat whenever it goes into the second board. So I'm using 3-inch screws. I'm using an impact drill and a square. Basically, that's really all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these together for you real quick and let you see how it's done, and then we'll get on to the grinder. So you definitely want to make sure these are square. Because anything worth doing is worth doing right. So I like to put a corner screw in. And then check the square again, and it's off. And then I'll put the second screw in. And then next, I always like to put a cross brace down towards the bottom of the legs. It does two things. It gives me better support, but more importantly, it gives me storage, because I can cut some plywood and lay it on top of these cross pieces, and I have a shelf for, you know, whatever. So what I do is just measure from the bottom to make sure that they're in the right spot. Again, I'm not putting all the screws I would normally put in. You'll definitely want to put, you know, at least two per corner. That's the first one. That's how it looks. It is really raining outside. You know, I thought all this scrap wood that I had for the legs was the same size, but it doesn't look like it. So this little mini table is going to be wobbly. We'll just square it. Well, maybe it's right. It looked off from the other side. All right, and that's leg number 2. You can arrange these however you want to when you put your cross pieces on, but you can either put these these cross pieces here on the outside or the inside, it doesn't matter. You could turn it this way and lay your shelf on top of it on the inside of the table. The only downside to that is you lose a little bit of shelf space. So I like to put mine on the outside. Okay, so again, if we were really making a table, we would do the same thing to the back side of the table. But this is basically, obviously we'd have a little bit more stability as well, but this is basically what the table would look like. You would just pick your tabletop, wherever you want it to be. And that's basically how it's done. I usually like to leave a little bit of an overhang whenever I put the tabletop on. Obviously this is not cut to the right width, but that's basically how it's done. I put this workbench together, and it's really sturdy. It works really well, and I'm gonna actually push it up against the wall, and I'm gonna attach it directly to the wall, straight to the wall. And that way, I'm not going to get any sway out of it whatsoever when I'm really bearing down on my grinder, trying to get everything ground in. If I'm doing a knife or whatever, you know, get my plunge line set or grinding in my bevels. You know, if I have to bear down on it, I'm not going to worry about that thing swaying a little bit, and it'll be nice and stable. So anyway, so this is my workbench. That's how I built it. If you do decide to build one, be sure and post in the comments how it went. I'd love to hear how it went. And like I said, if you have any questions about it, be sure and post in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you have. So this is done. Now we're going to move on to the fun part, which is I get to unbox my new reader grinder. Okay, so first things first, I gotta go get all of my stuff. I got some stuff in the car, I got some stuff in the other room, so I just need to bring it all to the workbench. I did go ahead and screw the workbench into the wall so it's nice and solid, but I gotta go get my grinder, all the grinder parts, and I got a couple of vices I want to bring in too, so be right back. I did cheat a little bit with this box last night. As you can see, it's open. I just wanted to open it and get a whiff of the newness. There is definitely a grinder in here. I double checked, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. This is a grinder that's made by a company called Reader Products, I think. R-E-E-D-E-R. If you want to just search for Reader belt grinder on Google, they will come up, I promise you. Their take on a belt grinder is really interesting. There's, I believe, I'd have to double check this, but I believe it's all aluminum chassis. You can either purchase a full kit, which comes with the chassis, motor, a variable speed controller, and the wiring components that you would need. It also comes with grinder wheels and a flat platen, and everything that you would need to grind a knife, basically. You can use it for really anything. Anything that you want to grind flat, or take sharp corners off of off a piece of metal, you know, something like that. You could use this for that as well. What's nice about this particular grinder is it will function both as a vertical belt grinder, and you can lay it on its side, and it will grind horizontally as well. I didn't have the money to purchase the entire kit, so I kind of piecemealed mine together, but I think it's going to be okay. I bought this about a year ago, and then saved up again and bought a motor and a variable speed controller, and then I ordered the wiring kit as well from Reader Products. So this is the Reader grinder. We're going to go ahead and pull it out and see what all we got. Sounds like the rain's let up. This thing bolted down to a piece of plywood. I'll have to unbolt this. Alright, so in case you were wondering earlier what the heck a platen is, this is a platen. So basically your belt, your grinding belt runs along the face of this platen and gives you a nice flat surface, so you can, whatever you're trying to grind comes out nice and flat. So that's a platen, and you'll kind of see how it works when I get it all together. Oh, endless bolts. Stopped raining completely now. So this is a second arm that kind of works in conjunction with the platen. You can put a tool rest on here for one thing. What's nice about having an extra one of these is if I decide I want to have a large wheel attachment, for example, it'll let me do a hollow grind on a knife. And a hollow grind on a knife, if you're looking down the edge of the knife, a hollow grind kind of does this. So it kind of curves inward and then goes into the sharpness of the blade. And that's for things like razor blades, things that you don't mind if they dull a little bit when you use them, and you can just run them across a strop, a leather strop, and sharpen them back up that way. But if I wanted to put a wheel on this tool arm, I could, and then it'd just be a quick change. I could just pull the flat platen off of the grinder, stick this in, I'll be good to go. All right, that's everything, finally. All right, so this is the basic grinder here. Yeah, you can see all of it pretty much. On the bottom board, I did 2 screws on the right side and one screw in the middle on the left side. And then now I'm doing 2 on the left and 1 on the right. That way I don't accidentally screw into another screw. They gave me 10 holes, I'm using 6. I think 6 will be enough. It doesn't go flat. The hinges on this grinder actually keep it from going all the way flat, so I'm not really sure what to do about that. But I don't know. I'm a little bit stumped right now. I'll keep playing with it. Hey, okay, so it's a couple days later, and it's pretty unbelievable how big of an idiot I am. Sometimes I think there are other people who are bigger idiots than I am, but it turns out that I am actually king of the idiots, worse than George Costanza.
Little respect, for I am Costanza, Lord of the Idiots.
Last time you saw me, I was trying to figure out how this thing goes in the horizontal position. It turns out I was trying to lay it the wrong way. So there's that. But I think I have figured out what we need to do from here. So I have my grinder set up, and I'll show it to you here. I've actually got my grinder up, and come around the other side, and you can see I've got the motor mounted to it. Now the reason that I wanted to do that is because I needed to see how much clearance I needed for the motor in order to lay the grinder down. What happens is you actually lay the grinder down on the motor side, and the spindles are on the top. Spindles in the belt are on top, and that's where I was getting mixed up. But the spindles in the belt are always on top when you horizontal grind. So I don't know what the heck I was thinking. So I'm going to mount the motor to the grinder, and I'm going to put it over this opening so that I know where to mount my grinder. From there I should be able to decide whether I need to raise the grinder up or not. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a belt on here and give this thing a real test. I think I've got a knife somewhere that needs to be shaped up a little bit, and we'll see how she works. So this is a knife that I've forged out. It's very roughly shaped. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the grinder and see if I can get it to look a little bit better. Knife looks a little bit better. I'll show you this side, and you actually see the ground side, but it's actually shaped a little bit better. Still need to work out the point, shape the handle a little bit, but this grinder is going to work really well. So I really appreciate those guys over at Reader. They're a really great company. They've built a really great product, and I'm excited to keep using it for sure. So if you want to visit their website, I think it's readerproducts.com. They have several instructional videos on how to set up your your grinder, how to wire it, and all that stuff. I decided not to include the wiring as part of the video. I'm not an electrician. I don't want you taking my advice on anything, but Reader has a fantastic video on wiring up the motor with a variable speed controller for low voltage. I'm really happy with this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, my name is Matt Walker, and this is Sonnie's Place.